Good morning, Grace Covenant. It's Thursday, June 3rd, and this is your Thursday devotional. And I'm grateful to be sitting here with my partner in crime, John Mount-Shoop. And I asked him to be a part of the devotional this morning because today is the year anniversary of his surgery for prostate cancer, which set off a year of, it's been an intense year, not to mention COVID, but just in our family and with John's health. And we've both been thinking recently as John's starting to feel better, and we have told the congregation that we don't need meals anymore for a while and things like that. Just the gratitude that we have for what it means to go through something like we've been through and have the love and support and prayer of a faith community, not just any community, but a faith community. And I asked John to be here with me so we could kind of reflect on that together. I wonder if you could share, because for you it was kind of a little bit of a growth edge. Like that's not maybe the world you come from, where you tell people what's going on and that you need support, and just how has that been for you?
Well, again, I didn't get COVID in the last year, but I got 2 types of cancer, unrelated. And the first one, I didn't want you to do a caring bridge. And then the second one, which really, beat me up pretty good, you did one, and I was overwhelmed with all the comments, with the support that I felt just on the caring bridge. It really meant more to me than I ever thought that it would, and it was really helpful as well to not be getting 1,000 texts and feel like you had to keep up with everybody. Mm-hmm. That was one thing that I really, really appreciated. But the other thing is, you talk about a growth edge. It was really hard for me to feel cared for, but I was beat up from the feet up and couldn't do much of anything for months. And it was absolutely overwhelming to have food brought to our house. Not even for me. I lost 25 pounds, although I wouldn't recommend anybody lose weight by getting cancer. But so Marcia and Mary Elizabeth and Sid, when he was home, could, go about their business as well. It was absolutely an overwhelming feeling, and wasn't an easy feeling for me to deal with. And I'm so grateful to be part of a faith community that just cares as much as Grace Covenant does. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Yeah. So I've always believed that prayer changes the world, and not just in a magic kind of way. Like, if we can get enough people praying, God will make a different decision or something. But prayer changes the world because it is a different world that we've lived in through this. Like, how different would it have been if we hadn't had the prayers, and we hadn't had the meals, and we hadn't had the support and the love and the cards from literally hundreds of people? What a different experience this would have been, and how that does affect your body's ability to heal.
Well,
and I think God works with that. God works with the strength that you get from community. That helps God do God's job.
And prayers come in a lot of different forms, and boy, stay helpful, whether it was a letter, whether it was praying together on the phone, whether it was a text, an email.
The caring bridge.
The caring bridge.
Prayer shawl.
The prayer shawl.
Yeah.
I mean, prayers come in so many different ways, and there's no way that I can communicate how helpful they were. I felt it, and I really think that was a big part of my healing process.
Continues to be.
Yeah, continues to be. I still have a bit of ways to go, but good golly, I mean, those prayers helped me get through what felt like some dark times, and I'm so grateful.
Yeah. We're grateful as a family. I guess I think we're not just saying thank you, Grace Covenant, but we're reflecting back to you one of the strengths of this community is, your love and care for each other. And for the staff and for the staff's families. Sometimes churches that are really strong on justice aren't good at taking care of each other because they almost are like martyrs, like, oh, we can't take care of each other, we gotta save the world. And I think at Grace Covenant we understand that the revolution to change the world starts with us loving ourselves and each other. And only that kind of really organic, kind of bottom up, from the inside out kind of love can make our love for the world have integrity and be genuine. And if we can't love each other and we can't love ourselves, then we really can't love the world. It's kind of a twisted kind of love. So I feel like this has been a real a time of strengthening of Grace Covenant during COVID, but also I feel like our family has strengthened in our relationship to Grace Covenant because of the way that you've loved us. And we already knew you loved us, but it really did, it really seeped in. We get it and we feel it, and that just makes our whole community stronger, I think, when we love each other with such trustworthy support. The other thing I'll say before we hang up, or before we sign off, whatever you do on these things, is the way that we've all grown in what it means to give support. Because I think sometimes white dominant communities, we think we know better what people need. So instead of letting them tell us what support looks like, we overperform, or we sprawl into spaces, and then it's not helpful. Then it becomes like another source of stress. And what I've really, really loved and appreciated about all of us is that together we're kind of learning, like, actually, that wouldn't feel supportive, and people being able to receive that. This would feel supportive, and people being able to adapt to that. Like the caring bridge, like, please check in there instead of texting and calling. Like, it's not because we don't love you and want to talk to you, but we just can't use our energy that way. And I feel like I got better at that. I think John got better at that. And I think you all, some of you probably got better at that too, just learning what the difference between, support and help, or kind of a saviorism, like just really like realizing that support is what support feels like to that person. So we thank you for listening, for hearing us, for loving us, and we love you right back. Take care.
Thank you, Grace Covenant.
Have a good Thursday.